Girivara Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jaya Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Privaracharya Sutasara Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Jaya Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Privaracharya Sutasara Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Maharaj ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Namachara Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Sari Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Shri Shri Radharadhanath ki jai. Shri Giriraj Govardhana ki jai. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Go Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Brinda Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Brinda Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Brinda. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. I've been given the task to read from text 16 to text 18 of the Chaitanya Charitamrta, Adhi Lila, 15. 15, okay, 15 to 18. From the Chaitanya Charitamrta, Adhi Lila, the second chapter. So, Yasha Prabha, okay, sorry, that was 14. Koti Koti Brahmande Je Brahmara Vibhuti. Say, you can say. Koti Koti Brahmande Ye Brahmara Vibhuti. Say Brahma Govindera Haya Ungakanti. Koti Koti Brahmande Ye Brahmara Vibhuti. Say Brahma Govindera Haya Anga Kanti. Koti Koti Brahmande Ye Brahmara Vibhuti. Say Brahma Govindera Haya Anga Kanti. Like to repeat? Koti Koti Brahmande Je Brahmara Vibhuti. Mataji's. Anyone else? So we'll do the word for word. Koti, tens of millions. Koti, tens of millions. Brahmande, in universes. Brahmera, ye, which Brahmera of Brahman, Vibhuti, opulences, say that Brahma, Brahman, Govindera of Lord Govinda, higher is Angakanti, bodily effulgence. Translation. Lord Brahma said, the opulences of the impersonal Brahman spread throughout the millions and millions of universes. That Brahman is but the bodily effulgence of Govinda. So you can repeat. Lord Brahma said, the opulences of the impersonal Brahman spread throughout the millions and millions of universes. That Brahman is but the bodily effulgence of Govinda. Maybe there's no purport to this verse, so we'll just say a few things before we move on to the next verse. So here, this verse is actually stating that the bodily effulgence emanating from the Lord is this Brahman effulgence. And we find that, there's many transcendentalists that worship the impersonal Brahman feature of the Lord. And actually there's three types of transcendentalists, and one of them worships this feature of the Lord, the impersonal Brahman. So it is, the analogy Srila Prabhupada gives is that if you look at a mountain from a distance, and you see it from a distance, you see it as a cloud, and as you go closer, then you find that it has a form, because clouds normally don't have form, and the forms keep changing. So it cannot be a cloud; it has to be a form. It has a form. So then you go even closer, and then you find, well, there's trees, there's rivers, there's so many things on the mountain. So similarly, this Brahman effulgence of the Lord is just one aspect of the Lord, where they worship the light, and they basically want to merge with the light, right? So I know of many people, or people like this, that actually worship the light, and they want to merge into the light. And we find that then there's another class of transcendentalists called the yogis. So these are the jnanis, right? And then there's another type of transcendentalists called the yogis. And the yogis basically worship the Paramatma feature within the heart. And so this is like when you come closer to the mountain, you see the form of the mountain. And so this is the Paramatma feature of the Lord that they worship. They have a little higher understanding that there is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and He's situated within the heart. And then they meditate upon the Lord in the heart, right? And in the Bhagavatam, it is described that the Lord is 8 inches, and He's situated within the heart. And so these yogis, they worship the Lord in the heart. And then when one becomes a bhakta, or even further advanced, then he understands that the Lord is Bhagavan. He has a form, he has features, and he has qualities like this. So this is the Bhagavan understanding of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which encompasses all the others, right? And which encompasses the Brahman feature and the Paramatma feature. So this is encompassed in the Bhagavan realization. And we find that, many people or other transcendentalists, they worship the Omkara. So when they worship the Omkara, then they meditate on the light, right? And they worship the Lord in the form of Om, the syllable Om. And Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, he says, I am the syllable Om. And there were many studies by the scientists that found out that this Om, this vibration of Om, is emanating from the sun planet. And, so they likened it to the different rishis and the munis, the sages of India. And I was watching a documentary where, it is stated that these people, the yogis and the rishis, they knew this a long time ago, that, the whole universe is comprised of the sound vibration Om. And like this, NASA has now explored further, and they found that this Omkara is emanating from the sun planet. So like this, there are many investigations now, and in the Bible it is said that how creation took place. Let there be light, and light was basically formed, and so it's just by the will of the Lord that all these things happen. And then even in the Quran, it is being described that the sun, is rotating as well. And previously it was stated by the scientists that the sun is in its fixed orbit, but now they understand that the sun is also rotating. And so in the Quran it is basically being described that the sun is moving as well. So like this, in the Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada also emphasizes, we'll just read some part of the Srimad Bhagavatam on the movement of the sun, and just the introduction to that chapter. And Prabhupada says that the entire Kala Chakra, or wheel of time, is established on the wheel of the sun god's chariot. This wheel is known as Samvatsara. The 7 horses pulling the chariot of the sun are known as Gayatri, Brihati, Unsik, Jagati, Pristap, Anustap, and Pankti. They are harnessed by a demigod known as Arunadev to a yoke 900,000 yojanas wide. Thus, the chariot carries Aditya Deva, the sun god, always staying in front of the sun god and offering their prayers are 60,000 sages known as Valakyas. There are 14 Gandharvas, Asparas, and other demigods who are divided into 7 parties and who perform ritualistic activities every month to worship the supersoul through the sun god according to the different names. Thus, the sun god travels through the universe for a distance of 95,100,000 yojanas, 760,800,000 miles, at a speed of 16,004 miles in every moment. So here we find, just in that little summary, we find that the sun is also moving. There's also movement in the sun, and as the sun is rotating, the different demigods are offering prayers to the sun god and to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So like this, they're chanting different mantras like that. This aspect of the sun's movement is also there. So we'll go on to the next text. Govinda, say Govinda bhaji ami, tohan mora pati, tahare prashadha mora, hey Shristi Sakti. Translation: I worship Govinda. He is my Lord. Only by His grace am I empowered to create the universe. So here Lord Brahma is speaking, and Lord Brahma is saying that it's only through the Supreme Personality of Godhead's mercy that he's empowered to create the universe. There's a short purport. Although the sun is situated far away from other planets, its rays sustains and emanates them all. Indeed, the sun diffuses its heat and light all over the universe. Similarly, the Supreme Sun, Govinda, diffuses his heat and light everywhere in the form of his different potencies. The sun's heat and light are not different from the sun. In the same way, the unlimited potencies of Govinda are not different from Govinda himself. Therefore, the all-pervasive Brahman is the all-pervasive Govinda. The Bhagavad Gita 14:27 clearly mentions the impersonal Brahman is dependent upon Govinda. That is the real concept of the absolute knowledge. So in this text we find that everything is emanating from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda, or Krishna, right? And the sun, the rays, basically that's emanating from Krishna's body, is also permeating the entire creation, spiritual and material. And that is how the sun is able to shine, and the moon as well, and they get the attributes from this effulgence of the Lord, right? And known as the Brahmajyoti, this white light is the effulgence of the Lord, and it's permeating the spiritual and material worlds. So in this way, it is being described that this effulgence is permeating everywhere, and in the Bhagavad Gita, it is being described that we can see these potencies of the Lord everywhere as well. And like in the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that I'm the taste of water, I'm the light of the sun and the moon. Shishi Radharadhana Ki Jai. I'm the light of the sun and the moon. I am, the Himalayas, like this. So we can see, when we look outside, we can see all these potencies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and it can, all these material manifestations, which can actually, reawaken our remembrance of the Lord. When we see, the sky is blue, and we can remember Krishna. Krishna is blue in color. So like this, we see the super soul in all living entities, and in this way we are reminded of the Lord. But how many of us actually do this, right? We are so impersonal ourselves that we actually project it in such a way that we even forget, that all these living entities are part and parcel of the Lord. So like that, although we are chanting Hare Krishna and we are trying to be Krishna conscious, but sometimes we forget also, right? So we have to constantly remind ourselves that, we need to see Krishna everywhere. So like this, we can actually train our minds to see Krishna everywhere. Another analogy that's given on how, this impersonal aspect of Krishna, of the Supreme Lord, can be seen. It makes our understanding even better, by using these analogies so that we can understand better. So Prabhupada uses another analogy, which is, he says that there's, you see a train from a distance and you only see the light, and then you come to a conclusion that the train is a light. So similarly, these transcendentalists, they only see the light of the Brahmajyoti, and then they conclude that God is light, like that. And then when the train comes closer, then you see that it has different compartments. And, so then this is the Paramatma feature of the Lord, to see that God has form. It's long and it has compartments. And when the train comes even closer, then you can see, oh, well, there's people in the train, and they, coming in and out of the train, and, it has windows, and it has so many attributes. So similarly, the Bhagavan feature of the Lord, actually explains all of these in depth. The qualities of Krishna, the attributes of the Lord. So similarly, in the Krishna book, there's so many pastimes of Krishna and his different qualities, and how he basically is, he's so lovable in this way, right? So we find that, when you take to the impersonal Brahman effulgence of the Lord, you cannot, this love, it cannot be, awakened. The love of God cannot be awakened in this way. So, but when you actually take to the Bhagavan realization and understand Krishna's qualities, form, and attributes like this, then your love is awakened from within, which is already there. Prabhupada said that, the love of God is already within the heart. All we have to do is just chant Hare Krishna and awaken this love of God within the heart. So we read 16. We'll go on to text 17. Manaya Vata Vashana Samana Urva Mantina Brahmakyam Dhamma Hite Yanti Sanata Sanyasino Mala. Translation: naked saints and sannyasis who undergo severe penance, physical penances, who can raise the semen to the brain and who are completely equiposed in Brahman, can live in that realm known as Brahma Loka. And Prabhupada in the purport, he says, in this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 11.6.47, Vata Vasana refers to mendicants who do not care about anything material, including clothing, but who depend wholly on nature. Such sages do not cover their bodies, even in severe winter or scorching sunshine. They take great pain not to avoid any kind of bodily suffering, and they live by begging from door to door. They never discharge their semen, either knowingly or unknowingly. By such celibacy, they are able to raise the semen to the brain. Thus they become most intelligent and develop very sharp memories. Thus, their minds are never disturbed or diverted from contemplation on this absolute truth, nor are they ever contaminated by desire for material enjoyment. By practicing austerities under strict discipline, such mendicants attain the natural state transcendental to the modes of nature and merge into the impersonal Brahman. So we see that these transcendentalists or these jnanis or yogis who basically perform these severe austerities, and you'll find them in the Himalayas, I've seen documentaries on this, and Prabhupada even states this, in his purports that these yogis, like how he's mentioning it here, that these yogis, under severe weather conditions, they're able to tolerate the severe weather conditions, whether it's scorching heat or severe cold, they're able to bear this and tolerate this and perform these austerities, all so that they can realize the absolute truth. Now, how much of pain they are going through, and austerities, and for thousands and thousands of years, some of these yogis have been here since maybe Satya Yuga, performing these austerities. And you can see them in the Kumbh Mela, that these yogis, and they look young, youthful, because of their austerities. But for so long meditating and, what uses of this if they're just going to go into the Brahman effulgence of the Lord? There's no activity there. You just stay there for some time until your piety is exhausted, and then when that's over, then you come down to this material world again. So, performing all this severe austerities under scorching heat and cold, severe cold, and then, going to the Brahman effulgence of the Lord and coming back down. So, this is so severe, this austerity, but actually there's nothing. You don't find you don't find the Supreme Personality of God. You could just go to His effulgence, and you cannot go beyond that, right? So. But we find the devotees, on the other hand, just by worshipping the Supreme Lord through the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, just by the sound vibration of the holy names, that then they can enter into the kingdom of God. Maybe not in this lifetime, because we haven't perfected ourselves, but eventually, we go back to the Supreme Lord and, engage with Him personally. Prabhupada said face to face we can engage with the Supreme Lord, right? And we find that, but these yogis, they are just stuck in one position, right? And they come down and go back up, and Brahmande Brahmitekon Bhagavanji, Guru Krishna Prasad Bhakti, Lata Bij. So in this way, Prabhupada is stating that, this transcendentalists or people in general, they are going to the higher planetary systems, even to the Brahmajyoti, coming back down, and the cycle of birth and death is repeated time and time again. So, but when one takes to the process of Krishna consciousness, then he ends the cycle of birth and death. Right? So let's go on to the next text, 18. Atmantarami yanre yoga shastrikaya se govindera amsha vibhuti yehaya. Translation. He who is described in the Yoga Shastras has the indwelling supersoul, Antaryami, Atma Antaryami, is also a plenary portion of Govinda's personal expansion. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is by nature joyful. His enjoyment or pastimes are completely transcendental. He is the fourth dimension of existence, for although the material world is measured by the limitations of length, breadth, and height, the Supreme Lord is completely unlimited in His body, form, and existence. He is not personally attached to any of the affairs within the material cosmos. The material world is created by expansion of His Purusha avatars, who direct the aggregate material nature, energy, and all the conditioned souls. By understanding the three expansions of the Purusha, a living entity can transcend the position of knowing only the 24 elements of the material world. One of the expansions of Mahavishnu is Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, the supersoul within every living entity. As a supersoul of the total aggregate of living entities, or the second Purusha, he is known as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. As a creator or original cause of innumerable universes, or the first Purusha who is lying in the causal ocean, he is called Mahavishnu. The three Purushas direct the affairs of the material world. The authorized scriptures direct the individual souls to revive their relationship with the Supersoul. Indeed, the system of yoga is the process of transcending the influence of the material elements by establishing the connection with the Purusha known as Paramatma. One who has thoroughly studied the intricacies of creation can know very easily that this Paramatma is the plenary portion of the Supreme Being, Sri Krishna. Yes, so devotees, this verse is talking about the Paramatma within the heart. And once I asked a question in class, like, does the Paramatma go back to the spiritual world with us? Just a silly question, but anyway. So the answer that I got from one of the senior devotees was actually, no. The Paramatma doesn't go back to the spiritual world with us, right? Because the Lord is within the heart, and if one worships the Lord in a certain way, in a certain form, then that Lord will take birth in our heart. So if you just say you worship the Lord as a baby, right, and you are attached to this feature as a parent to the Lord, then Krishna as a baby will reside within your heart. And when you go back to the spiritual world, then the Lord just jumps out of your heart. Yeah, Mama, yeah, I am. Worship. You can, you can have this relationship with the Lord. So in this way, the Paramatma doesn't go back to the spiritual world, because he's the Paramatma in the hearts of all living entities, right, in the material creation. And as one loves the Lord, so similarly, ye yata mam prapajyante tam stateva bhajamyaham. As one worships me, I reward him accordingly. So whatever form you worship the Lord in, whether in the threefold bending form as Shamasundar, or as a baby, or even as Mahavishnu, he will take that form, in your heart. So, and then you go to, if you worship the Lord as Mahavishnu, then you'll go to Vaikuntha, where you can have this relationship with him. But obviously there's, this is in a dasya form, servant and master form, like that relationship. So this was a question that I had asked. And we find here, Prabhupada is talking about the Purusha avatars, and how basically they come into being, and they are basically the one person, but they with three different aspects, right? Mahavishnu, Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, like this. And so they are within the heart, right? And they are, Upadrashta Anumantascha. They are basically the overseer and permitter within the heart of the living entities. And sometimes, you want to do something, you want to make a decision, right? And then you contemplating on it. And then you get some inspiration from within the heart. Yeah, I should do like this. And then, and you do it, and it turns out nice, right? Whatever the service or whatever it is, right? And then you say, but something made me do it. It's not something made you do it. It's a Supreme Lord within the heart that is actually instructing you and guiding you. Do like this and do like that. So it's not something made you do it. It's a Supreme Lord that is speaking to you within the heart, right? So in this way, we find that, we can actually have a relationship with Krishna, even within the heart, right? And he reciprocates with us like this. So, but here, the last part of the purport, Prabhupada is saying the authorized scriptures direct the individual souls to revive the relationship with the supersoul. Indeed, the system of yoga is the process of transcending the influence of the material elements by establishing a connection with the Purusha known as Paramatma. One who has thoroughly studied the intricacies of creation can know very easily that this Paramatma is a plenary portion of the Supreme Being, Krishna. So, the devotees who worship the Bhagavan feature of the Lord are basically higher than those who worship the Paramatma feature of the Lord, because it is inclusive, right? The Brahman and Paramatma are inclusive in the Bhagavan realization of the Supreme Lord. So, yes, so we can actually have a relationship with Krishna, and this is stated in the Bhagavatam. We can have relationship with Krishna in 5 different ways, right? One as a parent and a child, right? Krishna can become your child, right? And those of the devotees that love Krishna as a child, then Krishna actually becomes subordinate to the devotee. And, you can actually, like Mother Yashoda, she can chastise Krishna. She can, this love is far beyond, is far superior to any love in this material world. And these 5 relationships that we have with the Lord, it's not one is superior than the other, although it is being described that Madhurya Ras is the highest, but still, with the devotee, basically, if he loves or he or she loves the Lord as a parent and a child, then that relationship is complete in the spiritual world. It's complete. Like Mother Yashoda doesn't think, oh, I want to become a gopi. I want to become one of the gopis and have a Rasa Lila with Krishna. No, her relationship with Krishna is complete as a mother and a child, like this. And also, as friends, right? Krishna, sometimes he jumps on the back of his friends, and and he goes like donkey derby going around, right? They carry Krishna, carry his friends on his back, if he loses in the game. So like this relationship is so sweet and it's so perfect and even, the Gopas, when Krishna, he engages with the gopis, and they think like, what is this? This is like so absurd. We have the most perfect relationship with Krishna as a friend, and we can do play games with Krishna. But what these girls can do, they can do nothing. So they think like that. So this relationship between friends is perfect, and they have this perfect relationship. So they don't think of other rasas. Basically, this friendship is all in all. Like that. And then we come to the Madhurya Ras, and Krishna basically engages with the gopis in the Madhurya Ras. We won't go too much into that because we are not so elevated to go into these topics, right? But they are actually, they talk about, they think that their rasa is the best as well, because they can actually engage with Krishna in the rasa dance in so many other ways that are not, that the other rasas cannot. So in this way, every relationship with Krishna is on a perfect level, like that. And the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, as given by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, can actually take us to the spiritual world, Goloka Vrindavan, right? Where we can have these 5 different relationships with Krishna. Now, and in a passive state and neutral state, we normally don't talk about these states, right? Passive and neutral, but they are also there in the spiritual world. And you can you can have a relationship with Krishna as a tree, like a full a Kalpavriksha tree. And one of the personalities that came down to this world to actually preach Bhakti Yoga was Madhavendra Puri, and it is described that Madhavendra Puri is a Kalpavriksha tree in the spiritual world. So yes, so you can have these different relationships with Krishna and still, maintain this high level of love for the Lord in this way. So I'll stop here now. And if you'd like to comment, we have many senior devotees here. I'm unqualified to speak in front of all of you, but please throw some light on this topic. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. You made a comment earlier how Srila Prabhupada reveals to us, the scriptures reveal how Krishna is everywhere. And but still, we don't think we're not thinking whenever we see anything in this world. Oh, this is Krishna. This is Krishna. And I've noted particularly how many times Srila Prabhupada uses the example of Krishna saying, "I am the taste of water." So it's very easy. Whenever you taste water, you think, this is Krishna. And I think, oh, how seldom do I do that, but often Prabhupada also says, you should practice this. So I really need to practice this. So the practice, it's not just there's a level of realization where you're seeing Krishna, but there's also the practice of trying to see Krishna, trying to remember this taste, this quenching my thirst. That's Krishna. And another example that I've heard, I can't remember, but anyway, Swayam Bhagavan Keshav Maharaj, he relates how perhaps early when he was initiated, his spiritual master Kadambakana Maharaj said something about you should examine the flower. You should see the flowers. You should. And he was commenting in a class that, and for years and years and years, I never did that. I never did that. And now. He said that, and now I'm also finding myself that when I see a flower, I thought, okay, I've got to see this flower, not just pass it by. I mean, to just see the flowers, because they represent extraordinary artistry on the behalf of Krishna, from Krishna, Krishna's artistry. One place in the Bhagavatam, I believe, Srila Prabhupada in a purport describes that this material nature is the smile of Krishna. Mm-hmm. So this practice of seeing the material world as Krishna's energy is something that it's part of our. It's a part of our practice that is. It's not chanting 16 rounds, or it's not like a. But it's something that we can be doing all the time, that enhances our Krishna consciousness. So that's just a comment that I thought I could add.
Yes, thank you so much for that, Prabhu. And and also, I'm not sure, you can correct me on this. Someone was an alcoholic, and Prabhupada said, yes, when you drink alcohol, you can think of Krishna.
Yeah, well,
something to that effect.
If they can do that, at least we can drink water and think of Krishna.
Yeah, so people in any circumstances, whatever circumstance they find themselves in, can think of Krishna, just by the words of the Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna. Anyone else? Okay, we have 3 minutes more. We'll stop here and you can prepare yourselves to take breakfast. Hare Krishna. And think of Krishna. Yeah. Yes, when you're eating, you can think of Krishna also, because Krishna is non-different from prasadam. Hare Krishna. Sari Rabi Chachao, Jorindriya Taiko, Jeve Pele Visai Sagore, Tarame Jivati, Lobhamoy Sudurmati, Take Chete Kitita Samsare, Krishna Bora Doyamoy, Gori Bari Jivajai, Swaprashadan Jilabhai, Say Anamrita Pao, Radha Krishna Gunagao, Premadako Chaitanya Nitai, Janimai Janitai, Bhagavad Prasadam Ki Jai, Shla Prabhupada Ki Jai, Go Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.